Well, for a look now at what's making news in print and online, we are joined by rural podcaster and PhD candidate at Deakin University, Kirsten Dioprese. Kirsten, good morning.
Good morning, Emma. Hi, James.
First of all, let's go with the Sydney Morning Herald story that you've got for us. So what's this one all about?
Well, look, the caravan bomb story is, of course, dominating headlines right across the papers this morning. But the one I really wanted to draw your attention to is a story by Jordan Baker, which is about I suppose it really hits home what it's like for just the average day Jewish person going down the street or going about their business. And this article talks about school children having to hide their emblem if they go to a Jewish school, and parents not wanting to put them on the bus and driving them to school out of fear. And I think that is really something that's changing the conversation about what's happening at the moment and the understanding about what's happening at the moment. And I think most parents would really be able to relate to that. And of course, right now, there is a big police investigation into that caravan bomb, indeed where it came from. So who really has orchestrated this, and indeed its relation to other anti-Semitic attacks. That caravan bomb was loaded with explosives and fortunately discovered before any tragedy happened. But on the political front as well, there are really significant ramifications, or at least there's likely to be. Indeed, members of the Jewish community have been calling for anti-Semitism to be taken more seriously. And we are sort of in this unofficial federal election period, if you like. And so there's a lot of pressure, I think, on the government to make a move. So what that next step will be, I'm not sure. But even internally as well, the Sydney Morning Herald today is also reporting that the leak about this active police investigation into that caravan bomb caught federal ministers by surprise, because the discovery had not even been discussed at National Cabinet or at the National Security Committee of Federal Cabinet. So I think there's going to be some internal discussions. Of course, authorities were not happy with the leak. It can compromise an investigation. They really need that time to get the jump on things. But I think this caravan bomb has got multiple strands of ramifications to come.
Yeah, it's an absolutely horrendous story, and we are thinking of Jewish families who are taking their kids back to school today. It must be an absolutely horrendous time. This second story you've picked out for us this morning really jumped out at me. The number of Australians facing long-term homelessness.
Yeah, look, I think we often measure the cost of living crisis by looking at inflation figures and interest rates. But this one struck me as perhaps a measure we haven't been looking at, and maybe we should. So this data has come from the Productivity Commission report, and it's found that 38,000 people are stuck in persistent homelessness. That's using 2023-24 figures. And persistent homelessness is defined as having been homeless for more than 7 months in the preceding 2-year period. And so that's really concerning. I mean, as you said, a rise by 25% over the past 5 years. But the good news is homelessness supports do seem to be successful. Homelessness Australia says that homelessness is averted in more than 80% of cases when the most at-risk clients seek help. And just the problem of needing more houses. Of course, the federal government has announced its $10 billion Housing Future Fund. I guess it just takes time to build those houses.
Yeah, it certainly does take some time. I really like this last story that you've picked for us, because I really like when it's close to home for you. But just briefly, because we are running out of time, farmers bracing for a hot spell.
Yeah, that's right. And this is critical for us in the west of Victoria, because obviously the fires, and look, those fires, the Watch and Acts, so they've been downgraded. There are some Watch and Acts that are still current. But again, concerns that it might flare over the weekend and the coming days because of that heat that's coming. Temperatures in the late 30s, early 40s. And the second thing is just trying to feed the livestock. So our biggest challenge is just access to good, clean water, getting enough feed and shade for livestock. And again, it's often the farmers who are the firefighters. So there's a concern that people are tired. You know, they're the volunteer firefighters. They're feeding out every day and having to go fight fires. So, you know, just thoughts with us at the moment.
Yeah. Kirsten, thank you so much for coming on the show again. We appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
I have been.